everybody, we are officially on the plane, and when we get there, I'm gonna tell you where we are going today.
Ghana!
Well, he just told you. You wanna say hi? Hello! You're in my video. It's okay. Hello everybody, so this is a quick room tour. We are finally in like Accra, which is the capital, and this is gonna be a day in life as a tourist. I'm just giving you a quick hotel view. This is the living room. All our luggages, Willie just got inside, and the Wi-Fi is good. It's already connected here. This is a bathroom area. We also have a room and another bathroom. Here's our room, me and Kaden, and then our bathroom is right there. At our other hotel, we were struggling to have Wi-Fi. At this one, we do. And hot water. Yes. Good morning, everybody. We are officially up, and your girl is showered. I'm feeling a lot more like myself right now because I got to really wash my face, and I just feel so much better. And yeah, right now, my sister, she's about to give Kaden a shower. I'm wearing a dress today. This is what outside is looking like. And there's a pool over there. And I just want to show y'all something. This is how you know you're in a black country, because never in my life have I ever been given a shower cap. If you know, you know what this is. But yeah, good morning vlog. Today we are going to be giving a day in the life of a tourist in Ghana, which you can already see. Basically, it's going to be very different from the local experience, very much more luxury. So if you ever wanted to visit Ghana, I would recommend. And this is the other side of it. My other video is going to be more of a local side, but this is the side of if you want to go on a vacation, relax, enjoy, and experience Ghana. That's your girl in the mirror. It's giving Badiana. Body. This is literally how they are cutting the grass here. And it is with a machete knife thing, which is crazy. It's funny because I sent my friend a video of me in the hotel, and I'm like, at the hotel now. And she's like, girl, that's not a hotel, that's a house. And low-key, now that I think about it, it really is house-like. I don't know if I said that earlier. Hotels here are more like little comfort homes. Alright you guys, we are now getting ready to go to the market. I want some waist beads, some traditional clothing, maybe some bracelets and purses. Let's see what I get. I'm gonna let Kaden figure out what he wants because I don't know. And I might get my friend some things if I got the moolah for it, but we will see. Wow. That might be too big for you. Okay guys, we are currently in the market. We have a guide. There's Keisha, there's Auntie Pat, and there's Kaden playing with my backpack. They have backpacks in here, paintings everywhere, purses, clothes, plates. Hi everybody, I am sick, but I must do this voiceover. And this is me in Ghana, basically telling you guys that we are going to a castle. We just randomly decided to pull over and do this because the beach was unavailable and the pool was. So here we are at a castle in Ghana, and this is it. We're about to go in and I'm about to show you guys everything and be prepared for a little history lesson. Period. Okay guys, so castle here is not castle like you think as in like kings and queens. This is a castle that pertains to slavery and, you know, when we were unfortunately sold from Ghana and the continent of Africa to places like America.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And welcome to the Osu Castle. So my name is Kwame Boatin, you can just call me Kwame. So the castle was officially built in 1661 by the Danes. The Danes arrived from Denmark in 1659. They bought the land for 3,200 gold florins. They bought the land from the paramount chief of the Osu community. Now, the chief at the time was Chief Okankwe. He sold the land to the Danes for them to build this castle. The Danes built the castle using just two materials, stones and lime as binding agent. They named the castle Christiansborg after King Christian IV. So he was the monarch king of Denmark and Norway at the time that they built this particular castle. 364 years, that's how old the castle is. So this is, however, not the oldest castle we have on our shores. The oldest was built by the Portuguese in 1482. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to arrive. They arrived in 1471 as they were trying to locate the source of gold trade that was happening between North Africa and West Africa. The Portuguese settled at a place now known as Elmina. That's the oldest and also the largest. It was built for trading. Later, it was used for slave trade. The second largest castle is the Christiansborg. This castle was built for trading. It was used for slave trade. After independence, this same castle became the seat of government. From 6th March 1957 all the way to February 2013, 12 presidents and military rulers ruled from here. The smallest of the three castles is the Cape Coast Castle, and that happens to be the only castle built purposely for slave trade. They were bringing in goods or commodities like guns, gunpowder, textiles, ceramics, barrels of whiskey, and tobacco smoking pipes. They would trade or exchange these commodities for gold and ivory from the whole of West Africa. Now fast forward, there was an influx of sugarcane plantation in the Caribbean. The Danes needed manpower. They saw Africa as a place where they would get cheap labor. And that's when they began the slave trade. The slaves that were kept here were brought in from all over West Africa. They were assembled and kept here for a period of between 3 to 6 months. They wait for the ship to arrive, then they transport all the slaves to the Danish West Indies. St. Thomas, St. John's, and St. Croix. Now back then, these islands belonged to the Danes. In 1917, they sold the islands to the US, hence the name US Virgin Islands. According to the records from the Maritime Museum in Copenhagen, over 126,000 slaves left this particular castle to work on sugarcane plantations in the Virgin Islands. The slave trade continued until 1803, when Denmark became the first European country to abolish the slave trade. As I said earlier, the slaves were brought in from all over West Africa. Usually, they had to walk from wherever they were captured to the castle. It took them several months. By the time they arrived here, the ones that didn't make it got here either weak, sick, or injured. Once they are brought in, they parade them right here on the courtyard, then they strip them naked. They do this to be able to check for injuries, infections, worm infestations, etc. Now, this makes it easy for them to sort out, to separate the healthy slaves from the unhealthy ones. Since they had to pay for the slaves, the healthy ones were more expensive. Male slaves also more expensive as compared to female slaves. After this, they brand the slaves. To be able to brand the slaves, they put metal in fire, get it red hot, they used to make marks on the skins of the slaves, depending on the slave master you belong to. After, you take them straight into the dungeons. This and that were male slave dungeons. 60 male slaves were kept in here, 60 of them were kept in there. 120 slaves occupied these two dungeons. The slaves relied on the window over here for air. The opening at the top supplied them with sunlight, and that was their only source of light. It's covered now because anytime it rains, the rain enters, and that's why these things covered. Now back then it was left open so that anytime the sun comes out, it will shed a bit of light in here for the slaves. The channel at the side is what served as their latrine. Anytime they had to use the toilets, urinate, vomit, spit, they had to do all that in the channel. They would sleep right next to it. Because of how close they were to their toilets, diseases were quite common among them, and quite a number of them died as a result. If at any point in time any of the slaves died in any of the dungeons, they were not even buried. The Danes would tie a cannonball to your leg, put you on a boat, sail a few meters away from shore, then dump the body into the sea. You would have to be in here waiting for the ship the whole time. Treatments and conditions were the same across all 12 dungeons. Male slaves, female slaves were all fed just once each day and were never allowed to take their bath. All the dungeons are built the same. You find one door, one window, one source of light, and one latrine. Let's go see one of the female slave dungeons. Alright, so as soon as you enter the dungeon, you can tell there's a big difference between this one and then the first one I took you to see. This is a lot smaller, it's also a lot darker. Surprisingly, they kept female slaves in here. This is the first of 4 female slave dungeons. This is the second one. The next 2 were all female slave dungeons. Now, after this castle became the seat of government, some of the dungeons were converted into storage rooms. And that's why we have shelves in here, because this is one of the dungeons that later on became a storage room. It used to be as empty as the first one I took you to see. 30 female slaves were kept in there, 30 were kept in here, 30 in the next 2. They relied on the window over here for air. They had an opening at the top that was giving them sunlight. This time around, this opening wasn't covered by us. It was covered because the Portuguese took over the castle 18 years after the castle was built and put a church on top of the dungeons. So the Saint Francis Xavier Catholic Church sits on top of these dungeons. As a result, they lost their only source of light. And because they had no other source of light at the time, most of the slaves that were kept in these dungeons ended up becoming partially blind from being in the dark for too long. You can see how dark the inner room is. There is a bit of light in here because the door is open. Once the door is closed, it will be as dark as this. And this is even during the day. You can imagine the conditions in here at night. The female slaves also had to remain in here for 3 to 6 months, just like the male slaves. They were fed just once each day, just like the male slaves. They were never allowed to take their bath at all, just like the male slaves. That's even aside the sexual abuse and physical abuse they had to go through almost all the time. Let's go see other parts of the castle as well.
I don't even know the title of this video no more.
Right, so this is the room of royals. Now this side of the castle was added when the British took over from the Danes. In 1850, the Danes sold the castle to the British for £10,000. When the British took over, they added this particular room and reserved it for royals only. So far, only 2 people have occupied this room. The first person to occupy the room occupied it in 1961, and that's the late Queen Elizabeth II. She visited November 9th to November 20th, 1961. She was here for 11 days. This is where she stayed the whole time. The tables, lamps, bed frame, and wardrobe are all original. It's been here since 1961. The second person to occupy the room occupied it in 1977, and that's the Queen's son, Prince Charles, now King Charles. He was invited to Achimota Secondary School's 50th anniversary in 1977. When he came, he chose to use the same room as his mom. In the entire history of the castle, these 2 royals are the only people to have occupied this room. Alright, you're welcome to church. Now this is the Saint Francis Xavier Catholic Church, and this church was added when the Portuguese took over from the Danes. In 1679, the Portuguese took over from the Danes, and since they are known to be Catholics, they needed a place to worship. They decided to build this particular church. They named the church after one of their Catholic priests. They also changed the name of the castle from Christiansborg to the Saint Francis Xavier Castle. When the Portuguese were here, praying the whole time, slaves were down there suffering. The sad thing is that it didn't just happen in this castle alone. When you go to the Elmina Castle built by these same Portuguese, you'd find a church on top of dungeons. You go to the Cape Coast Castle, the British did the same thing. Church of England is built on top of a dungeon there too. When the Danes, 4 years later, regained control over the castle, they converted the space from a church to an officiating room. Anytime the slave masters wanted to marry some of the locals, or even some of the slaves, this was where they were officiating the weddings. Whenever they gave birth, they used this same space for naming ceremony. Eventually, when their kids started to grow, this same space was used as a school to educate the mulatto kids or the half-caste kids. This is Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, one of the key men that helped Ghana gain independence in 1957. Officially became our first president in 1960. He was in office until 1966, when sadly he was overthrown. The man to my left is a less popular figure, but an equally powerful man. Till date, he remains the only Ghanaian to have served as governor in this particular castle. From 1661, when the castle was built, till now, it's been 364 years, and just one Ghanaian has managed to become governor within that time frame, Asimeni from Akwemufie. He gathered 80 men from his hometown in Akwemufie. He brought the 80 men into the castle where they pretended to be traders, looking to buy guns from the Danes. Now, when he came with the 80 men, they requested for the guns to be given to them, for them to try before paying for it. As soon as the Danes gave their guns to Asimeni and the 80 men for them to try, they used those same guns to kill the Danes, then to control over the castle in 1693. One of the Danes, however, managed to escape, and that was the Danish governor at the time. Surprisingly, the governor was just 25 years. He escaped by jumping the wall right behind the castle into the sea. Even though he sustained injuries, he managed to swim all the way to Accra Fort. It was the Dutch that were stationed at Accra Fort that took the Danish governor in, treated him of his injuries, and later took him to Denmark to report to their king that a Ghanaian and his men had conquered and taken control over their castle. After the Danish governor fled, Asimeni decided to put on the Danish governor's suit, then declared himself governor in 1693. Sadly, he didn't rule for long. Just a year and 2 months later, after he took control over the castle, the Danes returned. Surprisingly, they didn't come to fight. They came to persuade him to sell the castle back to them. He agreed and sold the castle back to the Danes for 50 marks of gold. Before leaving the castle, he decided to lock up the whole place and left with the original set of keys to his hometown as trophy. Till date, the original set of keys to this particular castle is in Akwemufie Museum as we speak. And till date, he remains the only Ghanaian to have served as governor. When I said he sold the castle back to the Danes, I saw a lot of people shaking their heads. That's not even the sad part. The sad part of the whole story is that even though he's Ghanaian, during his time as governor in this particular castle, he actually continued slave trade. Wow. No. Usually I don't like to add that to the story, but history is history.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no dick, and no nigga ain't got me.
Okay everybody, we are now back from the castle dungeon and we're going to show you guys what we got from the market. I just want to say a little quick thing about the dungeon. I think a lot of people get uncomfortable when they hear Black history, especially if you're white, red, blue, Asian, African, African American, Black American, because at some point African history and Black American history is connected. And I think the best way to approach topics like slavery and things like that is to have an open ear to listen and to not change history. We just must accept it and move forward. History, they say history repeats itself. By learning from it and knowing the truth, that's how you can prevent it. It should not be seen as something that makes you dislike somebody in the current day, but it should be seen as something to grow from and to treat people properly, not based on the color of their skin, but by the character of who they are. And even if somebody is not a good person, avoid them. But don't stereotype, don't generalize people based on race. Get to know people individually for themselves. It's very sad as a Black person hearing that. It's unfortunate that that is our history, but there's strength in our history and we can change our history by growing from those traumas and pains. And also people from other communities, you can respect our history and also treat us like everyone else human. Everyone should be treating people the way they want to be treated. Martin Luther King. Alright, now we're going to show what we got.
So I end up getting a painting and it has actual fabric on the painting. And it's supposed to represent like the beautiful Ghanaian queens we are.
Okay, Tyler, what did you get?
I got this black shirt. I have a blue one at home, so I wanted to get a set of it. And then I got this blue shirt, and I really love this one. This one's actually my favorite. And then this green one. And this one is my second favorite because I like it. It's called out to me. So that's what I got. 3 shirts.
Okay, so you got 3 shirts. That's where I got a painting. Okay, guys, this is what I got. I got a painting, and it's of 3 women. I didn't want to get a solo painting because I feel like in Ghana, there's a lot of community and a lot of support. So I wanted to show the strength in numbers and also just the power of community because I think that's what Ghana represents for me. And then I also got 3 ankle bracelets, even though my feet are ashy. But I got 3 ankle bracelets. I'm not going to wear them all at once. I just happened to have them on to choose the colors, and then that's what I got stuck with because we were leaving. I got this shirt for Kaden, just something cute, as well as a bracelet that Kaden wanted to get for his dad. And this lady gave Kaden a bracelet for free because she said she has a son and she wanted him to have it. And I also got this Ghanaian pendant to wear. I was thinking about getting Abana, which is my middle name, but I feel like this goes with my N better. I also have 3 waist beads, but you guys will not be seeing that because they're already on my waist. And basically they're permanent. The only way you can take them off is to cut them off. So I'm gonna have them for a long time and I'm gonna wear it every single day. Please. Another thing we got is this elephant that Kaden wanted. He chose it himself, and that's kind of like the toy he got because what kid really loves clothes? So that's his toy. And that is what we got from...
I got authentic cocoa butter. It's hard as a rock, guys. It's not soft.
And why'd you get cocoa butter?
Because it makes my skin amazing.
So that's why you got it.
And that's why I got it. Every single time you come to Ghana, my skin ends up being amazing.
And that is something that we all got. See you guys soon. We're supposed to go to the beach or the pool or dinner, but it started to rain, so we'll see about that. See you guys soon. Alright, y'all. Even in another country, I'm about to start studying for the bar, and there's Kaden playing, and this is how it goes. I'll be studying and he be doing his thing sometimes.
So pack your legs and throw your keys up. Circle round, 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 round. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo! One step to the right, we headed to the dive bar. We always go at night.
Okay guys, we're at dinner and the food looks amazing. I have to get me and Kaden's plate as always because Mamiana.
Ooh, run me to the left and spin me in the middle, boy. I can't read your mind.
The next day.
She a baddie, she knows she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend. Hey. Okay everyone, it's the next day and we're low-key at the mall.
Woke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club. Put on a fresh white suit and a mini coupe sitting on love. I'm just looking for somebody to talk to and show me some love. If you know what I mean. Everybody jacking me as soon as I stepped in the spot. 200.
Hey guys, right now I'm currently in Ghana studying and doing wills. And Kaden got in my chair because he's sick of me studying and he wants me to go for a walk with him. But me and Kaden made a deal and we said that if I could study first, we go for a walk, right? He's not feeling the deal. Life of a mom and a student and somebody trying to pass the bar, okay? Since Kaden wants to do homework too, I'm tracing letters because right now I'm trying to help him work on his handwriting. Every day he goes to school and he has to write his name on the board. So I figured why not get him a letters and numbers book where he can improve his writing every single day and he's getting better. Parents, it's about practicing and teaching your kids at home too.
That's all, folks.